Dear colleagues and friends, greetings to you all good people of TI. AJ and I wanted to make these videos to tell you what we're going to do if we are privileged enough to be elected for the leadership of Transparency International for the next 3 years. We're running as chair and vice chair to take this wonderful organization to next chapter in its history where it will be more dynamic, more connected, more impactful to reach our goal of world free of corruption. I had the honor to share my time in the international board with AJ Brown, whom I trust tremendously. I strongly believe his candidacy for vice chair is going to serve movement best. I don't have to say much about him, as he is very well known as a great mind, excellent strategist, one of the solid soft powers of our movement, as well as a long-time anti-corruption strategist, an activist, worldwide respected expert on governance, ethics, and whistleblowing. We are both on board. Take this journey ahead. TI is 30 years old organization. We're young. We are at the right point to make our dreams come true. We had many successes in the past. We have created a global awareness on corruption. We were a key factor in international and national legislative frameworks. More importantly, we build a wide network covering around the world. We are in the islands of Pacific and islands of Caribbean. We are in the steppes of Central Asia and deep forests of Amazon. We are at the Saharas of Africa, deserts of Middle East, and greens of Balkans, shores of Mediterranean and Baltics. We are from the highest mountains of Asia to Europe, everywhere. We're in the streets, we're in the corridors of EU and Washington, D.C. I am truly honored to be part of this wonderful organization. And I would like to send my deepest appreciation to our founder, Peter Eigen, our forefathers, all of our previous chairs and vice chairs, and to you, the people on the ground fighting everyday heroes. So friends, what are we up against? The world is very different than 30 years ago. Transparency and integrity were rising values back then. Now it's turning out to be lip service for the governments, useful tool for the politicians, and fancy textbook narrative for big corporations. Close to 60% of world population is living under restrictive regimes. Civil society is subject to pushbacks around the world. And even the developed democracies witness regression. It is becoming much more dangerous to raise voice against corruption. Social injustice, this is also something we're here for, is at the top agenda of the people. The world is moving towards the crisis point with climate change, food insecurity, inequality, immigration, and displacement. We witness wars fueled by corruption. People migrate across seas and turning to be graveyard for them. Countries fall into high debt crisis with hyperinflation, so some people even have to give their kids for adoption, and this is for real. Corruption is the root cause for the children going to bed hungry at night or suffering from malnutrition. This is simply corruption injustice we're talking about. So it's clear, for the people of the world, we are needed more than ever. And how does the corruption look like now? Main feature of the corruption has also changed compared to one that we have to confront 30 years ago. Now it's more transnational and hidden away complex financial schemes or thrives with new technological mechanisms. Illicit financial flows, unfortunately, follow the colonial traditions and once again drain the poor countries out of their resources, but also undermines the rule of law or destroys the stability of the markets by inflows. Organized crime, narco trade, human trafficking destroy lives, kill people speak up against, and even turn children into military savages running with the guns on their hands. Political corruption is now at the new level that the populist leader runs campaigns with anti-corruption narratives, backed up with army of artificial intelligence bots, deepfake videos, and spiral of disinformation chains. And then they turn around and siphon the millions out of the country. Polarization, unfortunately, blind thousands, and people that are so poor, they don't even realize the roots of their misery, and they still vote out with indifference to corruption. This has to stop. How we will conduct our fight under our leadership? We will step up our fight around the world. We have the knowledge, skill, network, drive to tackle the corruption. We have a great reputable name, institutional ties to global community, and wide network covering most part of the world. We are diverse, at the same time united. We are a fascinating combination of activists, researchers, investigators, and advocates. We have unique, different approaches from grassroots organizations to think tanks to consultancy. But what glues us is our deep passion and drive to fight against corruption and correcting the injustices caused by it. Our unity in diversity, it's something actually strengthens us. We have a very courageous voice around the world despite all these attacks. We even have a chapter in exile now, speaking the truth. What we need is a bolder voice in global fora with a movement unified against corruption in actions. Politicians and businesses, they cannot be left alone while making important decisions about the world. We will be everywhere, from UN to Davos to World Bank to IMF, to raise our voice. Our unique approach of constructive engagement with institutions, governments, and businesses will be applied wherever we have space and means for it. When it reaches its borders, we will work more with the people to create a pressure from the bottom up. Our fight will be inclusive of people. We will get the people on our side. Women subject to sextortion will be on our side. Victims of ALACs will be with us. Diplomats tired of broken systems. Auditors blowing the whistle. Businessmen tired of paying bribes will be with us. Youth, women, poor, indigenous people, disadvantaged groups, denied of opportunities will be on our side. We will be relevant to people and we will be the voice of the people. I strongly believe that the national chapters are soul and heart of this organization, and they will be supported for their actions. We are aware of our issues with shrinking civic space, scarce resources, and silo feelings. Our suggestions on how we will overcome our challenges are in the plan of Program for Change. I would also highly suggest you to listen AJ's videos to the end for details of the programs. But I can tell you one thing for sure. I promise you one thing. This is going to be dynamic movement with a powerful global advocacy. And this will become the change we promise to the world. Thank you very much for listening. Looking forward to your support.